Will Smith steps back into the spotlight with Based on a True Story, his first rap album in over 20 years. And it's not just music, it's a raw, reflective journey through fame, failure, and personal growth that challenges the narrative of his public downfall. But does this unexpected return mark a true artistic evolution or just a calculated rebrand? Let's talk about it. What's good, everybody? You're now tuned into Everything Ain't For Everybody, and I'm your host, Lighthouse, and today we're discussing Will Smith's Based on a True Story. All right, now, Will Smith has never been one to follow conventional timelines. The global icon whose career has spanned music, television, and film and public spectacle has reemerged in the rap space with Based on a True Story, his first full-length album in over 2 decades. It's not simply a return to form, it's a deliberate, emotionally charged reckoning with fame, failure, and redemption. And while the result may be polarizing, it's undeniably personal. For context, Smith's relationship with hip-hop predates his Hollywood dominance. As half of DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince, he helped bring rap into suburban living rooms, earning the first ever Grammy for a rap performance in 1989. Since then, his musical output has taken a backseat to blockbuster films and family-friendly branding, which is why this album's arrival, announced subtly through freestyle clips, social media teasers, caught many by surprise, myself included. To his credit, Based on a True Story is not an attempt to recreate past glories, nor is it a desperate plea for relevance. Instead, it's a self-aware meditation on the turbulence of the past few years, a stretch defined for Smith by viral controversy, intense public scrutiny, and internal self-examination. Rather than dodge these topics, he confronts them head on. The album opens with a barrage of sampled criticisms, online commentary, late-night jokes, and cultural sound bites that reduce Smith to caricature. But instead of deflecting, he absorbs them. This framing sets the tone for a project that functions more like a public diary than a commercial rap release. The vulnerability is admirable, even if the lyrical execution doesn't always meet the moment. Sonically, the production is slick and contemporary, borrowing from gospel, trap, and cinematic soundscapes. It's polished, at times excessively so, but largely avoids the kind of dated sensibilities that often plague legacy artists. Some tracks like Tantrum featuring Joyner Lucas managed to tap into a more visceral, modern energy. Smith is neck and neck with Lucas, delivering one of his most strongest performances on the project. Elsewhere, Beautiful Scars with Big Sean and gospel-anchored You Can Make It showcases the album's spiritual undercurrent, a clear reflection of the actor's recent focus on introspection and healing. These collaborations, along with features from Tiana Taylor, Russ, B. Simone, country soul singer Jack Ross, and his son Jayden, help ground the album in the present day without feeling opportunistic. Still, Based on a True Story is not without its flaws. Certain tracks feel underdeveloped or emotionally flat. The song You're Looking For Me comes across as like a rough sketch, while Rave in the Wasteland attempts to channel the aggression of Kanye's Yeezus era, but it lands as a hollow mimicry. Occasionally, Smith's attempts to diversify his delivery, such as dabbling in Caribbean patois, fall short, underscoring the limitations of his stylistic adaptability. But technical prowess was never the point. This album is about transparency, about legacy, about the audacity to re-enter a space you helped shape, knowing full well that your presence is now as controversial as it is iconic. In that regard, Based on a True Story is surprisingly compelling. This ain't no Will-matic album, all right? We're not expecting like fireworks, but you know, Will does put effort into his bars, you know, and we have to respect that. And like, it's because of that, because of his station in the culture and who he is historically, I had to give this a listen. But what you would like, you know, hip hop has evolved and lyricism has evolved and deliveries have changed over time. So the things that kind of started out back in the day might not listen well in today's times. So I'm not expecting like I said, Will-matic. Will Smith supposed to be rapping like Nas? No, Will Smith supposed to rap like Will Smith, but I digress. Don't expect that, okay? Smith may not be considered a lyrical heavyweight to most, but his willingness to show emotional depth, wrestle with public perception, and evolve artistically after decades in the limelight deserve recognition. He was snapping on this album, not gonna lie. I had zero expectations and he exceeded that, which is why I'm not mad at this album. This probably won't be an album for everybody. Some will find it awkward, uneven, or overly sentimental, but for those willing to engage with it on their own terms, it offers something increasingly rare in modern celebrity: accountability wrapped in creative risk. Will Smith's latest effort is more than a comeback, it's a conversation. That's my time. Thank you for watching. Everything for everybody, but I hope Will Smith's Based on a True Story is for you. I mean, just take a listen. You know, if you have any spare time, give Will a listen, man. Come on, this guy gave us Bad Boys. He done gave us Independence Day. He done did all kinds of shit, man. Like Will, The Fresh Prince, come on. And West Philadelphia, Born and Raised. We all know that song, man. If you know those lyrics, get into these lyrics. I mean, the bars on that joint is crazy. That go off in the club right now. Like, you know, getting jiggy with, like, come on. Will gave us classics. Give him a chance. You know what I mean? Like, just so if I ask you about it, you could be like, nah, son, that ain't it. You know what I mean? And I'm fine with that, you know, but I think Will deserves some attention from us, you know what I mean? Like, that's Will Smith, man. And like, you know, he answers everything that's been going on, you know what I mean? And like, you know, he put it in the music. So I appreciate that. And it's like, it's good for our elder statesmen to still be able to use the platform however they see fit, you know? So out of respect, I checked it out. I wasn't expecting anything, you know. I was skeptical, of course, but, you know, I wasn't mad at it. You know what I mean? Like, am I going to be rocking this in the summer? Probably not, but like, it's not a terrible album. It's just, you know, maybe not for my rotation, but I'm not mad at it. And I could sort of see how some of these songs could be synchronized and put in the movies and all of that too. So, you know, check it out. But that's my time, man. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. Thank you everyone for watching and supporting. I appreciate y'all. And yeah, I'll see y'all tomorrow. Peace. We out of here.